Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to cut a handful of nodules found in eastern Arizona. I'm kind of hoping to get some purple. So let's see how we did. Let's walk through these real quick before we cut them and see what we found. So this first one, it's a typical looking nodule on that side. But looks like it's got a lot of quartz showing, but it's like a lot of quartz crystals, and there might be some agate back in there. I can't tell. It looks like there's some purple color or something back there. So it's possible these quartz crystals are just growing on the surface here. So yeah, we'll cut somewhere back here, parallel to that possible face on this end, and see if we got anything. Alright, next up, again, looks like your typical nodule with a big fracture in it. It looks like the fracture started to heal. You got some quartz crystals growing in that fracture. And that fracture goes all the way around like that. So maybe if we do a cut through here just under that fracture, parallel to what looks like a face, but I can't tell what's in this. I don't know if those quartz crystals are just on the surface or if they go into the stone. Very odd looking. Alright, we'll find out soon enough. Alright, next up, big old nodule, your typical agate skin. And then it gets kind of funky on the bottom. Looks like a quartz crystal pocket there. And then look at this side, you got some banded purple agate around, I can't tell, I think these are calcite crystals. And you got some inclusions with agate around them. Again, those could be calcite crystals as well, or some other kind of softer crystal. I got a feeling if I drop this one in acid, I would end up making a shell out of it. But I really want to cut this one. I'm just not sure how to cut it. Unfortunately, this face here, I may have to cut into some of it. And there's a fracture here, so this piece might come off. I want to try to save most of this face. I may have to cut into some of this section here because it goes back behind the front. Maybe I can try to cut back here all the way up to here. I don't know. We'll cut it one way or the other. See what comes out of it. All right, next up. Alright, so again, it's got a weird section on the bottom, like I can't tell if that's, it looks like agate. There is a void between this agate and this agate though. So this might be like a plume or moss agate. Then it had some kind of a druzy or quartz on top of it, and then this grew in a bubble above it. That looks like banded agate, purple. And I can see some of it coming out the backside here as well. I'll have to cut through this window probably. I'll cut parallel to that face, that one, just across here. And we'll see how that comes out. All right, I get this little nodule. This one I don't have a lot of high hopes for. It looked like a normal nodule, possible purple. But the rest of this looks like it's going to be that kind of like a calcite crystal or some of that black nondescript material inside. It also feels kind of light. It could be hollow. All right, last up. This one's just kind of crazy. It's got a agate going every which direction. Kind of swirled around. Got a broken face here. So I'll just try to minimize cutting through any open faces, and we'll cut that in half and see what's on the inside. Could be cool looking. Hopefully it is. All right, let me get these on the saw. I'll get them cut open and I'll bring them back, show off the results. We'll see what's on the inside of these. All right, be right back. All right, back from the saw. We'll start with this one that kind of came apart. So I'm not sure what these black formations are in these stones, black or dark brown. But this one was full of this stuff and kind of broke on that end as I cut it. As you can tell, it's got a big void in there as well. And then on the other end, didn't really form completely, but there's a little bit of agate in there with some reds and purples. But yeah, there's no way you can polish that. It's way too pitted. All right, next up. Didn't have high hopes for this one, but it was a little more solid than I thought. I figured it'd be like that last one and just kind of break up. It at least held together. It does have some of that material in it, but it's got a lot of moss, very pitted, but gorgeous moss with those golden yellows and a little bit of brown, some white banded agate up in this end, a little bit of purple. Pretty cool looking. If it would have formed a little bit better with more agate, that would have been awesome. But it is what it is. Look at that little plume right there. It is still pretty cool looking. All right. Next up, got that big old piece. Tried cutting back here and part of it broke off. So let's see what we ended up with. All right, well, it's got more agate in it. But again, it's got a void with whatever that dark stuff is. You can tell it was trying to do saginite sprays or plumes or something in the agate. That's pretty neat. And look at that end here. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that's an almost. It was almost pretty cool. Let's look at the other half. All right, well, it is interesting though. It is an interesting cut. All right, next up, this is one I said I wasn't sure what was in this. It looked like possibly quartz on the end. Let's see what we ended up with. More of that moss. It's got a lot of fine pitting in it, but you got more of that golden, yellowish to peach, maybe some red. But yeah, very pitted. Don't know if that would take a good polish or not. But it is an interesting pattern. Love the colors. I'll take it. Not bad, not bad. All right, 2 left. Let's see if we got anything better on this one. So this one had that window on either side. Cut it in between. And all right, that's definitely different. It's got some of the host rock in the middle, surrounded by some red banded agate, surrounded by some kind of a lavender or purplish agate. It's got some deep voids in the agate between that and the banding at the center. That is pretty neat. It's a shame it has that host rock in it. Let's look at the other side. Nice banded pattern. Alright, well, not perfect, but I might try polishing this one at some point. I know this host rock probably won't polish up too well, but I like the colors in this, and I like the pattern. Alright, last up. So this one I really wasn't sure I wanted to cut it. I love these crystal formations with the clear calcite crystals. And then you got that dark stuff coming in. Not sure what that is. But yeah, let's see what we ended up with. All right, mostly a calcite center with some purple and white banded agate around it. It's pretty neat looking, but I don't know, if I could flat polish that, that would look pretty cool. Just don't know if it would hold together. A lot of fractures. Love the colors in this though. Look how deep that purple is up in that top right corner. Also down here. On the other side, this part broke off. You can see the calcite crystals in there. Wow, it'd be nice if I could find one that was all purple like that, banded agate. That's a beautiful color. Look how deep that purple is. All right, I'll definitely do something with this one. It is neat. I like the colors. The inclusions are kind of cool the way they all form together. And then on the outside, you got that cool banded agate skin. Then you got this big old pocket of crystals and whatnot. It's just really neat. All right, well, that is it for this video. I want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good day. Bye.